the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with, looky here, Paulie Howard.
Hey, friend.
Back from vacation. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Jack to be here on a Monday. Tons to get into today. Great guest, Nick Bogdanovich, longtime Vegas odds maker in 30 minutes. College basketball with him. Keith Yerzeri, MLB Network, also hosting now here on VSiN as well. Very good at the baseball futures. Also, he likes some stuff on the NBA card for tonight. Jerry Palm, bracketology in college basketball. The good, the bad, and the ugly coming up. Our best bets for tonight and beyond as well. How was it? How was the week off?
It was good. I went little Arizona, little local staycation as well. Fontainebleau exceeded the hype. Thought that was great. And now we're ready for the madness. And my vacation wasn't as good as the last couple days that you've had, though.
I'll get into that coming up in a few minutes here. What did you think of St. John's yesterday?
Impressive.
My God, this is very easy to say, right? It's, in fact, much easier said than done. If they shoot like that, like they're a Final Four team. But my God, they pounded UConn into submission yesterday. That game was over with at halftime. And they're not a good shooting team. We all know that at this point. They are elite defensively, number 2 at KenPom right now. But a version of that St. John's team, here's the problem. That version can win the whole thing, certainly a Final Four team. They're currently like a 4 seed.
Can't be. Nope, going to be better than that. And they can win the whole thing, and it was unfortunate they didn't make the tournament last year.
Yeah.
They got that wrong. But again, you just see the difference that a coach makes in college athletics.
Oh.
And Pitino called his shot. It's going to be a hot ticket. The Garden's going to be rocking like the days with Lou. And he's right. And they're phenomenal in what they do defensively. And if they shoot like that, yeah, they're going to be playing in April. And it's a great story what they're doing. And the flip side is what's going on with UConn, which the other story is what, SEC, how many 1 seeds you're going to get. But the preseason top 10, nobody knows anything. Kansas, number 1, average, can't win a road game. Might get a 9 seed. Gonzaga, they better be careful. They go to Santa Clara and San Francisco this week. They could be looking at the 10 or 11 seed. North Carolina may be lucky to get in. Baylor on that list. UConn, look at that. Those are your preseason top 10, how bad they've been this year.
How about this? If you go back before Friday night, the teams projected on the 7 to 12 seed list, right? That's not going to be the overall seed. We're talking about where they would fall overall in terms of being ranked by the committee. Like number 7 overall in the country at that time, it was Wisconsin. 7 through 12 all lost. Wisconsin, A&M, Iowa State. No, I know they played other really good teams. Michigan dropped Friday night. Arizona did. Kentucky lost. But that's just, especially in the SEC, a lot of these teams are going to have several losses, but it doesn't even matter because they're playing a gauntlet every single week.
Yeah, well, that's the conundrum for the committee, though, because St. John certainly has a great resume, but you can't, when you're looking at quad 1 wins, it's not going to stack up with these SEC teams, but how many opportunities they get. I mean, game in, game out, they have these great chances. So it goes back to a little bit of body of work, eye test, but also St. John's blew some of their games,
Sure.
that they only have a couple losses. So I would say they're better off being a 2 or a 3 seed, and give me that as opposed to these teams that have more losses but better wins. Because I think the Big East is a good league, but you can't compare it to the Big 12 or the SEC, though.
Of course not. UConn, I mean, they're going to be like an 8 or a 9 seed compared to what they've been the last 2 years. And in fact, when you look at St. John's overall resume, they are number 18 today in the net rankings. And their quad 1 opportunities, they've only played 7 quad 1 wins. They're 3-4. So that would ding them, but I still think that the potential here, like if they were to close the season without another loss, they can't be a 4 seed. They have to be. And do you know how good it is for college basketball if this team with that guy at head coach would make a run in the tournament?
Yep.
Pitino's all-time good. Phenomenal soundbite, like the attention, the ratings, the betting popularity of that team alone going to the Final Four would be gigantic.
Yeah, that's why 4 is crazy, and we'll see what Lenardi does tomorrow at ESPN.com when he updates bracketology, because it's also the resume, the wins, and the close losses in the games that they blew as well. So they've been in all these games, and they blew the Baylor game, should have beat Georgia, and then they had the close loss against Villanova as well. So who knows? Maybe I don't think a 2 seed's crazy either if they win the Big East tournament, because they're going to win this league, and if they win out, it's going to be by margin too.
Sure. I was watching that Wisconsin debacle on Saturday. Just playing elite basketball for the last month. Same thing. It continued for the first, 30 plus minutes of that game, up by 17. Oregon hits a couple of shots, down to 9. Like Wisconsin stop playing basketball, and they lost the game in overtime. Just mind-boggling to me. But LaFonso Ellis was on the game, and he pointed out that if you go back the last 9 years, you have to be basically if you just go on trends, every national title winner was top 9 in offensive efficiency, top 22 in defensive efficiency, and then if you break it down even more than that, shooting like 36% on 3-point field goals, that was one of the criteria. I don't think every team did, but a lot of them did. And then he also added in if you have at least one projected first-round pick. Well, top 9 on offense and top 22 on defense, there are only 4 teams right now: Duke, Auburn, Houston, and Florida. And some teams on the outside of 36% of like top 20 offense and defense, but they're really good shooting teams. Clemson, Texas Tech, and Kentucky would qualify. But Kentucky's defense is too bad to actually get back up in there. Maryland's close, Missouri is close, and so is Wisconsin.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a shocker who wins this, even though the SEC is so strong. But you just see how good a Missouri can play. And it's not like, you see what the Lakers did against Denver. Okay, then Denver has the opportunity to come out and make adjustments in a 7-game series. That's the beauty of the madness. Sure. You can come in and I can shock anybody. And remember, Auburn was so good last year, and Yale beat them in the first round. So when you look at how deep this is, and you can make a case for somebody to come in and make a Final Four run, I wouldn't be shocked if it happens. And I know Palm was in with you, and I sat in with Palm when you were on vacation. I think he's got to change his mind on Houston. Doesn't like him. I mean, how do you go 15-1 in this league?
No, I know.
And I think they beat Texas Tech tonight. I mean, there was a kind of a fluke win where they lost by 1 point, and Tech kept getting to the free throw line, which they never do. But all these numbers point to, there's only a certain amount of teams. But Duke looked great. Auburn looks good. But I wouldn't be surprised if you get a surprise and someone comes in and makes a deep run in April and does this.
Well, that's kind of the Houston thing, right? Is they've never really but they had the Final Four run that one year.
They've had bad luck, though, too.
But, yeah.
Miami shot like 80% from 3, and then they had injuries in the Duke game.
So you're okay? You're going to wipe a line through that and say, I trust this Houston because the offense is...
Yes.
I will say, the offense is much better than where it's been over the years with that guy. The problem might be the lack of big guys down low. We'll see. Mm-hmm. But they're playing at an entirely different level offensively this year, so that probably matters.
And what if Alabama gets hot for a couple weeks? What if Clemson made a run last year? How about the run Louisville's on?
I know.
There's another one, too. So based on the brackets and what the seed could be, and even you want to see Dana Altman in March? I don't. How funky is
9 quad 1 wins for Oregon?
What is that, tied for number 1 in the country? Now, how
tied for number 2.
Number 2. Okay, thank you. Yep. How crazy is that stat?
I did not. When they put that on the broadcast on Saturday, I was like, wait a second, that can't be right. And I go, oh, yeah, it is. They have 9 overall. Mm-hmm. So everybody loves a really good gambling story. There's a lot to this. It goes back to Thursday night. Did Palm text you or call you and say, hey, we're all going to be hanging out at Bar Canada for the...
Yes.
He did. Mm-hmm. But you were on vacation, so you get a pass. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a bunch of us went over there to watch USA against Canada. It goes to overtime. In the first intermission, I said, I'm going to go play a little bit of video poker. So I was at the D, upstairs, high limit, found a hot machine. Did not hit a jackpot, but it was a hot machine, right?
First 2 when you come in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Against the wall.
You know exactly where it's at, right?
Yeah, very good.
So I was playing for a lengthy amount. In fact, it extended into the second period. I cashed out, and I never took time to cash a ticket at the D. So I still had that ticket, and it was for, is in the thousands, in my wallet the next day. So you cannot cash tickets from the D at the Circa or vice versa. So we were out late Thursday night playing craps. So I got home super late, right? And
I didn't know you played craps.
I haven't played in 18, 19 years, I don't think.
Okay.
I still don't even know what I'm doing.
All right.
So my wife had our 10-month-old all day, and he was just, it was a ruckus, right? He was total chaos. And she was just kind of pissed off at me. So I'm like, okay, on Friday, I'm going to come home right after the show, and I'm going to be the best dad that I can be. You can do whatever you want. I got Sebastian. Then Friday, the show ends, and I text her. I'm like, hold on a second here. I need to get this ticket out of my wallet because I don't want to have that much money, and I could lose it eventually. I'm like, I'm going to go to the D. I'm going to cash it, then I'm going to come right home. So in the time that it took me to walk over to the D, cash the ticket, walk back to Circa, I also had in my mind, well, before I come home for the weekend, let me just try this one machine that's been pretty decent to me over the years. And I'm going to sit down for a couple of minutes here. Plunked in that money. Paulie, no joke, I was there for 10 minutes,
Come on.
I took a screen grab, and what you're about to see here is a shot that I took at 4:29 p.m. So everything I just told you, show wins. I had to go up to the garage, put my bag in there, walk over to the D, cash a ticket, come all the way back over to Circa. That's probably 15 minutes. I hit that. I popped this bet. I was playing 10 cents. I went to 25 cents, and I went to 50 cents.
You kept getting stuff, so you upped it.
Vice versa.
Oh,
Vice versa.
Other people do that too.
It was going the other way, so I'm like, okay.
Is this Ultimate X bonus streak?
This is Ultimate X, not bonus streak.
Not
Regular
bonus
Ultimate X. My game is 10 play, and I like to play double-double because I'm going for the 4 aces, and I hope to get a 4 aces with the kicker because it pays half of a royal when you get that 4 aces with the kicker. Now, here's the thing. I've had a couple of royals in my life, but the biggest jackpot I've ever hit playing video poker was, I think, $4,800. That was...
That's incredible because you've lived here for 25 years.
Yeah.
That's staggering.
So I've never popped one for even more than 5,000.
Yeah.
This thing, I'm playing for 10 minutes. I'm dealt 3 to the royal. In fact, I was dealt another spade. So I'm like, okay, I got to throw that spade away and go for the royal.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's 10 times. Bam. Royal flush right in my face. 4,000 credits times 10. So that bad boy paid $20,000 29 minutes after our show ended on Friday. So the heater continued into yesterday and then into the right before the show started. You're not going to believe the heater that I'm on. But also, I made the best move of my life after I hit that royal. I'll give you the details next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you live downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. College basketball here. Sports Gambling Hall of Famer, longtime Vegas odds maker Nick Bogdanovich here at Circa Sports. Joins the program here on the desk. Good to see you as always. How are you?
Doing great, fellas.
How high are you on St. John's overall?
Yeah, I like St. John's a lot. Patino's done a hell of a job. You could have got a big number early on. They're down to, I think I lowered them to 28-1 this morning. We lose with them, so I got them maybe a little lower than they should be, but they're awful good, and they got everything you want for a tournament, and they got a great coach. They play really good defense, and they got some weapons that can score when they need a bucket. So, yeah, they're legitimately live.
Absolutely. How about St. Mary's? What a win that was. Gonzaga's power rating is inflated and is off, and St. Mary's has been 15-1 in league, and they swept Gonzaga.
Yeah, no, same. Listen, Bennett, the coach there, he's one of the top 10 coaches in America. It's that simple. What he's done there in Moraga is phenomenal. I almost took 200 onto them earlier in the year, and I never did. So I'd love to see them make a Final Four run. I think they can. Do they have enough to get over all the way home? Probably not, but we've seen worse teams get to the Final Four, I can tell you that.
Well, I love them in the first couple rounds because of what happened last year. They had a good team, and they lost to Grand Canyon. They didn't play well in the run they're on. You know, it's funny because your buddy Richie, you're in the will. Last week, 2 weeks ago, he said he loves St. Mary's. He recommended a future on St. Mary's. Yeah. It only makes him a 6-point dog against Auburn on a neutral.
That would be a war. I think we were talking off air. I'd make it like 7F, 8, but I mean their rate are way up there.
Good point about the coaching too, and they're peaking after a slow start in the non-conference. How about how the weekend go here for you, especially Saturday with all the action?
Oh, it was busy. We had a good weekend. Ton of action. I mean, people are finally, in November, December, January, it's still football, so everything else is secondary. So you don't see a lot of recreational play. But now that college basketball is one of the only games in town, we're starting to see some pretty good action. We saw quite a bit of volume this last weekend. So, but yeah, and the next obviously 4 weekends will be the madness. So, college basketball, I say, is front and center right now.
You know, when you guys make the next step in terms of bumping up the limits, would that be like conference tournament time?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, then it will be. Okay, what do you think tonight? Houston taking on Texas Tech should be an absolute bloodbath.
Going to be a great game, right? I mean, Texas Tech won at Houston, so big revenge game for Houston. We opened 2. It's been bouncing back. They took 2, laid 1.5, so we're back to 2. Really good action. I mean, really good action on that one. So I made it. Houston won, but the only side I'd have here is Houston. That revenge angle is pretty strong, and it's baked into the number, but it's going to be a hell of a game. You got to be careful. Texas Tech's got one of their best players, McMillan. He's still questionable. He missed last game. I think it's a game time decision. So if you're betting the Red Raiders, make sure he's in the lineup. They're going to need all hands on deck tonight for Houston.
Where do you have Houston in your power ratings? Top 3, top 4?
Yeah, top 3. Duke and Auburn, I got the top,
Okay.
and then Houston. Well, actually, Houston. I have Florida a half point over Houston.
Okay.
So, but they're both like 3 and 4, real close.
Yeah. Every time I watch these teams play, like a Florida, like an Auburn, well, like St. John's on Saturday, there are some others. Obviously, I'm just like, who's going to beat these teams? Who could do what they did? But it's like I can't say that about 10 teams in the country because it keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an incredible tournament. Really is.
Totally agree. Yep. When we were talking at the top of the show about, you look at all these numbers and say, okay, these are the teams, the criteria you have to fit to win it all. But an A&M, even if Kentucky gets hot from 3, the way Louisville's playing, Clemson made a run last year. I think I'm with you. I think this thing's wide open.
100%. Tennessee, Arizona. Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Kansas looks all of a sudden finds their mojo down the stretch and they become a factor in the tournament. You never know. I mean, you got to be healthy and you got to be playing good at the right time. And it doesn't take long to start playing good. You get one or 2 games under your belt and the confidence is back, and then you get a decent matchup in the tournament. And then you get a good path in the tournament, and before you know it, you're live.
Yep.
So-
Well said. Look at a team like BYU. That's now 4 straight wins, all the good opponents and back-to-back wins over ranked teams. And they could get a 3 or 4 seed in the Big 12 title game as well.
I had BYU 450 3 weeks ago. Today they're 125, and and drew some money. So
Sure.
you just never know.
Cool. How was the handle with USA Canada, and how did it compare to an NFL game?
Yeah, it was incredible. I would say a regular season NFL game, not a Sunday or a Monday night game, but an afternoon game. The handle was incredible.
Yep.
What was really incredible was the amount of tickets on the game. Every $10 and $20 bettor had a ticket on the game, and I haven't watched a full game on TV in its entirety in 25 years, and I watched the whole thing. So there was lots of guys like me who just wanted to see how this thing was going to shake out. It was the 2 best teams in the world, stone dead pick'em, and obviously the Trump Canada thing going on with the national anthem. So everyone was engrossed. So it was a big deal.
Was that hockey or was it all sports that you hadn't watched the game?
Hockey.
Okay,
I
hockey,
haven't watched
all
a hockey game in its entirety in forever, unless I'm at T-Mobile, then I'm stuck there. But I'm not a hockey fan. But it got a non-hockey fan to watch the game, and there was plenty, millions like me.
Sure. Well, did you see the television ratings?
I didn't see it.
More than 9. I think it was between 9 and 10 million people watched. That's like a high college football game on a Saturday.
Yeah, no, it was incredible, and it couldn't have been any more even. It went to overtime. Dead pick 'em before and dead pick 'em afterwards. So great stuff.
Excellent. How about anything that's coming with big bets on MLB with
Yeah, we had a little
run?
excitement today in the office. Gentleman strolled to the window and bet like 30 dimes on Ohtani to win NL MVP at 2-1. Same guy bet Mr. Soto, the second choice, at plus 750 for like 12,000. Then he navigated on to the American League, found Mr. Judge at 4-1 for about 20,000. And Mr. Witt, the second choice there, for about 12,000. So baseball's heating up. Everyone loves baseball. I mean, it's a great sport.
What do you make of the Dodger win total? I mean, I bet over 103.5. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Forget about the lineup, which is an all-star lineup. You got 6 good pitchers and stud pitchers.
Yeah, what they got, they can spend $1 billion, and the Pirates spend 880,000. So it drives me crazy. But there is no cap in the MLB, so it is what it is. So, yeah, but the Dodgers, if they stay healthy, you're going to be seeing some incredible prices in August and September, like -$4 and $5, and who knows? I mean, they may set the all-time win record if they can stay healthy. They have that much talent on their roster.
I don't think that's a crazy comment. Your advice to Mitch: would you press now after his 4-day heater?
You gotta press. When the iron's hot, you strike, but you got to realize when that iron's starting to cool and get out before you blow a good chunk back. So it's like, listen, money management is key in everything. But I do believe when you're running hot, press, and when you're going bad, cut way back.
Yeah, I've hit 2 jackpots since then.
Have you? I didn't know about that. I just got the one.
In a combined, no joke, in a combined 25 minutes of play, I've hit 3 jackpots.
Nice.
It's never, come on, it's the biggest heater of my entire life, obviously. Never going to happen ever again.
I like what you said. Let's go to $1 and $5 now. Let's get nuts.
Right.
You got bullets for March Madness.
Yeah,
you got that too.
Sure I do.
Yep. Great to see you.
Good
Great
seeing
job,
you.
my man.
Oh, by the way, do you like anything tonight?
I'd have to recommend Houston.
So do I.
would, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Kelvin
fluky,
Sampson in a revenge game. I mean, it's, rarely do you get Houston in this price range, and
True.
all they do is win. So basically all you're asking them to do is win. I mean, -1.5. So.
Derek Stevens giving you 15% off at 3 great properties: Circa, the D, and Golden Gate. Whether you're hanging by the pool or enjoying all the excitement Vegas has to offer, save big. Code VSIN15. CircaLasVegas.com, code VSIN15 to get 15% off. The weather's nice. Championship, we always tell you, not the madness, championship week. Wall-to-wall action, and it's crazy at Thursday, Friday, Saturday before Selection Sunday. CircaLasVegas.com, code VSIN15. Get out here now. They also have a great viewing party for the Masters. Get on that, too. I mean, they're doing incredible stuff here at Circa.
Yep. Nick,
check it out.
Yeah, quickly, you said Kansas, who knows, they might get hot at some point in the tournament, right? So they just had a big win over a really bad team on Saturday. They play on the road against a bad Colorado team tonight. Could this be the beginning of a decent sign for that team? Because they close with that absolute gauntlet in March.
It could be. I made the game 8, so I could lay 6.5. Richie did lay 6.5. He is on Kansas. So, I mean, Colorado's shown life lately at home. They won their last 2. I think they beat Baylor their last game at home. So it's always been a strong home court in Boulder. But if Kansas is ever going to get on the run, it should start tonight. I mean, they obviously slaughtered Oak State, but if they're a serious contender, they should put in a good effort tonight.
Thanks, Nick. Win, lose, coming up next.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSIN.
Welcome in. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. We're going to hit some baseball and some NBA here as Keith Irizarry joins the program now. He is on the Progressive Guest Line. He does a little bit of everything. VSiN contributor. I heard him hosting over the weekend with Will Hill. He's on MLB Network, NHL Network, SNY as well. Keith, good to have you on the show today. How are you?
It's great to be with both of you guys. Been too long. Missed you guys.
I love betting awards in almost every single sport. I think that Cy Young betting is almost my favorite bet to make every single year because you basically have action throughout the entire season, right? You have like your 30-plus starts you hope from the guy that you're betting on, and then you're trying to like fade the other guys who are going to be contention every time that they go. So I think it's a great bet to have for like 6 months. I don't have any bets yet. You do. Who do you like?
Yeah, so I think in the National League, it's, Skeens' award to lose, right? That's the assumption. He's the odds-on favorite. But sometimes you just kind of look at who the best team is going to be, and it should be the LA Dodgers. And then you look at the rest of their pitching staff, and you wonder about Blake Snell. He's already won the award twice. 10-1 odds was the best that I saw, at least as of this morning. You saw what he did post-July 9th when he came back with the Giants. He was back to looking like a stud. He'll get the strikeouts. We know he's going to walk some batters too. But if he can stay healthy, and I know that's a big if, but if Blake Snell is healthy, why can't he win 17 or 18 games with that loaded roster? Maybe lead the National League or be top 5 in the National League in strikeouts. Put it all together. I think there's a really good chance he could be your National League Cy Young.
Very good. You're excellent at baseball. How about what do you think of the Dodgers with the win total 103.5?
You joked with me right before we went on the air, like, is that too low? It does. It feels low. Top to bottom, they are virtually flawless. You want hitters? Sure, we got them. You want guys that have won MVPs? Yep, bunch of those guys. You want some young guys? Yep, got them. You want a rotation that can go 9 deep if Shohei and everybody else is pitching? Sure, got that as well. And then I think the NL West is probably a little bit weaker than it's been in the past couple of years. So put it all together, yeah, I would lean to the over, even though my old partner, Matt Stryker, when we used to do Better's Eye, we used to talk about this a lot. Stryker said he would never take a bet of a team for over 100 wins. I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, the Dodgers were set at 101.5. I took the over, he took the under, the over hit. But typically, I agree with Stryker on that one. I'm going to go against him on this one, too. I'd probably go over.
Yep, I'm with you. What's the talk there and the excitement with the Mets? Soto looks great, but they got the bad news on Manaea.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm going to be on SNY tonight, Honda Sports Night, and that's actually one of our lead stories is Sean Manaea. You got Montas now is out a little bit, too. You don't know what the deal with Kodai Senga is. The talk about the Mets is Mets fans are still excited. They love Juan Soto. They love bringing back Pete Alonso. They love bringing in, Jose Siri. They love the rest of this batting order. Francisco Lindor can't do any wrong in any Mets eyes, right? Nimmo's going to be a star. You go on and on and on about this Mets team. I will continue to come back to it. I'm afraid about this pitching staff. I still think they should mortgage a little bit of their farm system. Go get Dylan Cease if he's available. I'm willing to trade away, whatever you need to do, barring a few top guys. But I think you got to go do that because the time to win is right now for the Mets.
All right, let's go to the American League here. The team that won the World Series only 2 years ago seems like it's forgotten and in the past, and nobody's talking about them. What do you think of the Rangers win total?
I like that they added Jake Berger. Jacob deGrom is telling us he's healthy. The Rangers are telling us that he's healthy too. This win total at 85.5, again, feels very attainable because you look at that division again, right? The AL West, I think, is a little bit weaker. The Astros should be weaker. The A's are not a quote-unquote layup, but they're not good. The Angels are bad, and then the Mariners are going to be a good team. You got a bunch of young players on this Rangers team. Seager is looking for yet another 30 home run season. I think Adolis Garcia is going to approach 40 home runs. I think their bullpen should be solid, if not great. And then I like the idea that they're running with a few of the starting pitchers that they're considering in the closer role. They're considering John Gray. They have Logan Webb now, considering him in the closer spot. I think this team is deeper than people believe.
Same thing with the Royals then? Right? Last year, so awesome story. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the Royals is an interesting one. So 82.5 just feels like a really low number. And I think it's a sharp number. So on FanDuel, you can get this at plus 106, which the value is there. I think that if you're looking at star potential, Bobby Witt Jr., potentially could be the American League MVP. Reagan's was awesome last year. You add Jonathan India, and I like him a lot in that lineup. There are some question marks. They won 86 games last year. I don't think there'll be major regression. I think they're going to be around 85, 86 wins. I think that division, besides the White Sox, that division is pretty darn good. Yep. I think, you're going to see teams battling each other. I feel like 85 wins feels like a really good number, so the over would hit.
Shift gears now to the NBA. Denver was on a 9-game winning streak, got pounded on national TV by the Lakers. They're in Indiana tonight. How about a player prop? What do you think Murray can do?
Yeah, so I like this one. I think we could have some fun here if you want to ladder Jamal Murray. So 3 or more threes, you get it at even money on FanDuel. I actually missed it this morning. I read that it was at plus 102. I got in at even money on FanDuel, right? If you want to ladder this forward, then go Murray 4 or more threes at plus 260, 5 or more threes at plus 650. The reason I do this is he had 6 threes in three consecutive games, 4 of his last 5 games. So for what it's worth, too, he had 3 threes in his last time against Indiana. Really small bet here if you wanted to, just to kind of break down the money value for people out there. Let's say you just took $30 and wanted to spread it around on this ladder. You do $12 on the first leg of it, on the 3 or more threes. Hit that, you make your $12. The 4 or more, put $10 on that one, you can get $26. If you hit both of those, you're already a winner. And then your last leg, just for fun, the last leg of the ladder, $8 would make you 52. You could have yourself a nice payday.
Yeah, very nice. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Keith Irizarry, he is on the Progressive Guest Line, talking some Major League Baseball and NBA. It's a weird scheduling spot tonight, right? Back to back. They played in Minnesota last night. The Wolves hosted the Thunder. It was a good game, back and forth. They just played like 2 Thursdays ago, and Minnesota blew them out basically from start to finish. Now they're meeting tonight in OKC. Thunder a big favorite here. I love Naz Reid. I have a ticket on him to win the Sixth Man of the Year. Again, I don't think it's going to happen because now he's starting too many games. But you want to bet on him tonight. How so?
I do. So follow the money. Let's follow the streaks and the trends. 10 starts in the month of February. He's averaging 20.1 points per game and about 9 boards per game. Put it all together, and it basically gets you above the prop that I like. The over 26.5 points and rebounds. Get it around minus 120 whenever you dive in. Also, you just kind of look at, if you're going to play this bet, figure out what's the thing that could get in the way of it. And I don't think it's the rebounds, right? I think he's going to get you 8 or 9 rebounds almost every night. So is it the points? Well, 22 or more points in 4 consecutive games and in 7 of his last 9 games. I will also throw out there, if you wanted to have a little sprinkle and get a little plus money there, plus 160 for a double-double on Naz Reid tonight.
Anything else you like on the card?
Yeah, all right. So a little deeper dive here. Let's go George Niang. And a lot of people don't really care that much about George Niang. They're like, he doesn't do much. Well, actually, since DeAndre Hunter got traded away from the Hawks and he's been inserted, it seems like they're just giving the dude the green light. So let's go 3 or more threes in the game. Get it at minus 102 on FanDuel. If you wanted to go 4 or more threes, I wouldn't be mad at you as well. That's plus 230. 3 or more threes in 3 of his last 5 games, 4 or more threes in all of those games as well. And if you want the volume, guys, 41 three-pointers made. I'm sorry, 41 three-pointers taken in the last 5 games. They are just letting this dude shoot. I mean, just go shoot. I mean, why not? Let's rock with it.
Sure. And that's what you love to look for when it comes to that prop, right? Is, okay, the guy's going to shoot 6, 8, 10 threes per game, and the numbers are low enough to bet on the make. So I'll do that every single time. Nick Claxton tonight, too. How do you want to approach him?
It feels like a free pass here, and sometimes that scares you, but the books know, so it's a little bit juiced at minus 130. Let's go over 8.5 rebounds. It's something he's done in 3 consecutive games, 4 of his last 5 games. And then you look at who they're playing. Washington is bad at basketball. They miss a lot of shots. That means there's rebounds out there. Also, by the way, Washington is 25th in offensive rebounding rate allowed. I think that is a critical thing to look at. They don't box out, apparently. So if Claxton crashes the boards, because the Nets miss a lot of shots too, there's going to be opportunities for rebounds.
Very good. Excellent breakdown on both sports. You can follow Keith on X at his name, at Keith Irizarry. It's Irizarry, MLB Network, NHL Network, SNY, ESPN Radio, and now a contributor here at VSiN. And you and Will did a great job over the weekends, man. Welcome aboard.
Thanks a lot. A lot of fun. Looking forward to catching up with you guys more. It's been way too long.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck tonight and beyond. There you go.
Thank you.
He joined us on the Progressive Guest Line.
4-point move in that Nets total as well, which is suddenly a big game, as the Nets were 15-1 to participate in the play-in a couple days ago. Now it's down to 8.
You know what the Blazers were before the Wemby news?
What was it?
Just to participate in the play-in.
40?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
Man.
But I couldn't find it anywhere to bet here in Nevada.
Yeah. We were talking about a couple of people threw out the Toronto angle. Because it's weird. The Nets don't want to win. They keep winning. The Sixers want to win. They keep losing. They've lost 7 in a row. All right, Madness, Masters, Opening Day, NBA, NHL playoffs, draft. It's all coming up. Start betting smarter with a VSiN Pro subscriber, $9.99. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The daily email from Bill 80. Don't place your bets unprepared. Full access, $9.99, VSiN.com/subscribe. Great deal. Join the team now. Tell your friends.
All right, follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Always get in touch with the show on X at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. Email is ftm@vsin.com. Tonight's Hoops card is up next. Some really good matchups in the NBA and one huge one in college between Houston and Texas Tech.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
And I love this time of year, gearing up for the madness, looking at projections. Only a couple of weeks away from Selection Sunday, then the madness really begins. And our next guest does a great job for CBS Sports as their bracketologist. Jerry Palm's been doing it for a long, long time, and he joins us here on the Progressive Guest Line. Jerry, thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing really well. I'll set the number at 2.5. That is number of SEC teams to get a 1 seed this year. Do you want to go over or do you want to go under that number?
Yeah, I'm going to go over. They've had 3 in pretty much every bracket since the committee gave it to us a couple of weeks ago now. And there's still a couple of other teams in contention. I think it'll end up there.
Okay, so then who would be the 4th team then? At this point, it has to be Duke over Houston, I'm guessing, yes?
Yes. Yeah, Duke has just been dominant. Duke is going to have to do something to mess it up to avoid being a number 1 seed. But, you know, the problem for Duke is that their schedule, that nobody in the league is really a great win for them.
Mm-hmm.
And Clemson and Louisville are good wins. Maybe there will be quad 1 wins, but there isn't really anybody else in that league that all they can do is win by as much as they can. Because, you know, half the metrics care about how big you win by. So, you know, just go up and throw up as big a number as you can. They just beat Illinois by 43 the other day. And Illinois is really struggling. They've had like a illness going through the team over the last couple of weeks. It's really been tough on Illinois, but yeah, so Duke, you know, just throw up big numbers, you know, beat the teams you're supposed to, which is all of them, and beat them as badly as you can.
The only sure thing right now is Auburn, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Auburn would have to just go in the tank to not be a number 1 seed, like lose everything from here on out, because we're almost out of season now. You know, we've got like maybe 4 games left in the regular season in conference tournaments, and you know they just have to go sideways. They have like I think 14 quad 1 wins, and you know nobody else has got more than 9. So now all quad 1 wins are the same, but that's still a pretty impressive number.
So then Houston, and it's a tough spot for them tonight, obviously playing in Lubbock against a really, really good Texas Tech team, and it's revenge here for Houston. But like I'm guessing if they were to win out and they still have Cincy, Kansas, and Baylor on the road in the regular season, like they're going to get a 1, I would imagine. Who would they leapfrog then?
I'm not sure they would. It depends on these other SEC teams. You know, Florida's up there, Tennessee's up there. I don't think it's a guarantee Houston's going to jump those teams because those teams are playing, you know, quad 1 games every night. However, only one of them can win the conference tournament. So, you know, Houston could push. They're probably the most likely team to push one of those SEC teams off the top line. And if they don't get 3, it'll probably be because of Houston.
And they lost 3 non-conference games too as well. That's wild. All right, I'm here for the Drake discussion. Love the Drake. What are they going to? They could be 29-4. Would that give them an at-large in the Missouri Valley?
Probably not.
Come on, Jerry.
I'm a Midwestern guy. I love the Valley. But, you know, it's just, I don't see, I mean, they're 58th in the net right now. They beat Vanderbilt and Kansas State, so that's nice. But they got 2 quad 3 losses at home. You know, just, I mean, there's no margin for error for teams like Drake. There just isn't. Because their league isn't going to give them enough good teams to play to build up a resume. So they have to do it outside the league. And Vanderbilt's a borderline team. Kansas State, you know, is a Big 12 team, but they're not a bracket team. And there just isn't enough juice in this schedule, which ranks, by the way, 195 as of this morning. So that's not even a top half of Division I schedule. And you take quad 3 losses, and there just isn't. I mean, when you compare them to other teams that, you know, play better schedules and get better wins, it's hard. It's hard for teams like Drake. It's hard for, you know, the champions of that league and similar leagues. You know, you've got to really do something outside your league, you know, to get the committee's attention and then not screw it up inside your league.
Okay, so I know where you're going to answer this, but I have to ask you. Let's stick then in a similar league, I think, in the Big West, because San Diego and Irvine are both awesome. San Diego's 24-4. Irvine is 23-5. They don't play again in the regular season. Let's say they each run the table and meet in the Big West title game, and it goes to like overtime where it's very close, 1-possession game. I'm going to guess the loser of that game is going to be out.
Correct.
No.
That's right. I'm looking at Irvine's resume right now. They split with San Diego, road and road, which is interesting. Their next best best win is Northern Iowa. They have 3 quad 3 losses and 2 quad 2 losses. So they don't have a quad 1 loss. All 5 of their losses, 3 of them are bad, but quad 2 losses aren't really bad, but quad 3 are. I mean, you just can't lose games like that in a league like that if you want to be an at-large. So, yeah, it's just that. No, that's Irvine. San Diego's got a quad 4. They lost at home to Seattle. They lost at Riverside. Now, they beat Utah State. That's a nice win.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to overcome the schedule and the bad losses. It's a one-hit wonder.
Well,
And
this is a stacked deck then. So is a mid-major going to get a bid then? I know what you're saying, but what mid-major is going to get a bid then? And I don't count Gonzaga.
Define mid-major for me, because I don't use the term because it's so nebulously defined. You're either a major or you're not. So there are 4 majors, 5 in basketball, and everyone else is basically not. Now, some of those are still better than others, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you what a mid-major is. So you define it for me, and then I'll help you. Outside,
what you just said. I'll use your definition. Outside of the big boy conference, like a VCU, a Drake, a San Diego, someone like that.
The Mountain West should have at least 1, if not 2, at-larges. But, VCU, I mean, I love VCU. But they don't have the wins to get an at-large bid. And their net is it's like 31 in the net. But their best wins are Colorado State, Dayton, St. Joe's. They lost at home neutral to Seton Hall. That's a quad 4 loss. Seton Hall. They lost at St. Louis. They lost at Bonaventure. They don't actually have a loss to a team that's definitely going to make the bracket, although New Mexico is likely to make the bracket.
So does this entire philosophy change eventually once the bracket expands to, 76, 78, whatever that number of teams is going to be?
Okay, let's be abundantly clear here. The NCAA is not expanding the tournament for VCU.
No, I understand that.
They're not expanding the tournament for Drake. Mm-hmm. They're expanding the tournament for Syracuse, who might be a 500 team. That's who they're expanding the tournament for. They're not, I don't mean to pick on Syracuse specifically. That's just an example. That's who they're expanding the tournament for. They're expanding the tournament to get more big schools in there. And it's possible someone like Drake would benefit from that, maybe in a given year. You might see an Irvine benefit from something like that. But most of those schools, if not all of those schools, are going to be majors because that's who they're expanding for.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this. Isn't the reason why we all love March Madness and have now for 3+ decades because of the Cinderella story and the underdog?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everybody loves those stories. I love them too. Although my team is not one of them. But still, I love those stories. But it's, that's not really what draws eyes and makes money.
Where did you have Wisconsin on your seed line before that epic collapse on Saturday at home up by 17 to Oregon?
2. Now they're at 3.
Golly.
Yeah. That's not long after they shot 72% at Mackey Arena in the second half to come back and beat Purdue. Mm-hmm. And Purdue's finding all kinds of interesting ways to lose. So they were at 2. Now they're at 3. The thing about Wisconsin is they were one of, I don't know if I've said this already, the top 6 teams in my Friday bracket all won. Only 3 of the next 14 won. And that goes all the way through the 5 seed.
Oh, jeez.
So when everybody loses, sometimes nobody loses because you can't take all of them out of the top 5 seeds, right? So I think Michigan State moved up two lines from 4 to 2 because they're one of the teams that won, and they won at Michigan. And but everybody else either dropped like 1 seed line or didn't drop at all. It may have dropped within the seed line, but not off a seed line.
I'll give you one here. Kansas, they're in action tonight against Colorado, but they close in March in the regular season. Texas Tech at Houston, at Arizona. Like, what's rock bottom for this team if they lose maybe, all of those games in March and get bounced right away in the Big 12? What's like the lowest, or I guess highest number, depending on how you look at it, number that they could get?
As a seed?
Yep.
Oh, boy. If they lose five in a row from here, oh, boy.
Well, if they win tonight, then they lose out.
Okay, so then you're talking about 19 and 13. They're probably 7, 8 because they always play a great schedule. But they're probably they're outside the top 25, number 25 at the 7. So 7, 8, maybe even 9. It always depends on what other teams do also. You can't analyze seeding in a vacuum.
Sure. You can follow Jerry on X. He's at JP Palm CBS. Does a great job as a bracketologist for CBS. Really fun conversation, Jerry. Thanks for the time today. We appreciate that.
Sure, anytime.
You're awesome. Think about the standard you're holding these teams to. These guys can go multiple games under 500 in league, and I win 29, 30 games, and I can't get an at-large.
It's maddening to hear that. And he's right, though. I mean, they're not going to expand for a VCU type. It sucks.
I mean, Irvine, that's because they had a bad loss. So, but San Diego,
Yeah,
to win
right.
that low, if you're going to win 20, 30 games, this is stupid. I mean,
know.
come on, man.
These reports keep surfacing, and they couldn't be more baffling to me. We'll discuss it coming up here on Follow the Money as VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.